I ask for the truth on behalf of Bec Maddocks concerning relationship issues. Why did her husband walk out on her 7 years ago? Ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love, and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. And we'll just place the cards to the side and we'll deal out 3 cards for you back. The first card we deal is in the possession of the recent past influence. This is about 3 or 4 weeks or so ago, about a moon phase behind. And then the next card is the present influence, which is Bec Maddocks right now. And then of course Bec Maddocks in the immediate future. In about the next moon phase, which is about 3 or 4 weeks or so into the future, is just there. Well, let's pull out the first card and let's just see what's been going on there, and let's investigate that, shall we? Yes, I suppose you could say we're establishing the situation. It's only what's sort of been going on over the past 3 or 4 weeks, but it just gives a bit of like an overview, isn't it? Let's just pull this card here. This is the one, and we'll just pull it out there. So just trying to find right reading glasses. I've got the wrong ones. Don't know if you've noticed the mad rush. It's okay though. Got them now. Panic over. Let's now flip this card over nice and slow there, not to disturb the energy, and let's just see what we've got there for you. You've got the Phoenix, and the Phoenix really is about resurrection, isn't it? It's about, I suppose, in this particular deck, it tends to focus on surrender to change. You've had to do that, and I suppose literally, really, in the sense you just have to accept what has happened, and that's it. Of course, there's a lot of fire there, isn't there? A lot of fire. I suppose it's rising from the ashes. So I suppose fire is energy, isn't it, as well? And I suppose just recently there's been a lot of energy around the situation, but either way, I suppose this really is just really about accepting the change for what it is. And yes, I suppose it's hard, isn't it? But nevertheless, at the same time, it does focus on like resurrection, doesn't it? Or I suppose you could call it revival, not revival, but certainly resurrection in some way, rising from the ashes. I want to see what the next card is actually, just to try and sort of link the two together to see if there's like anything we can come up with what's happening now. Because regardless of what happened then, he walked out or whatever, nevertheless, it's what's happening now, isn't it, that's most important of all, I suppose. You could view that as, couldn't you? So let's just pull out the next card and let's just see what the next is. Well, just flip it over nice and slow there, not to disturb the energy, and just see what we've got there for you. And now you've got the wise woman of Wonderland. What's that all about? The wise woman of Wonderland. That's it. That's to try and say that after a Guinness. I don't know if you'd be able to or not. But the wise woman of Wonderland is, I suppose, about this. According to this, is about integrity and integrity and compromise. Yes, I suppose really in a way, with your experience of what you say has happened, yes, you've had to surrender to change, you've had to, literally in that sense I suppose, and you've had to have a form of resurrection, haven't you, to some degree. And yes, integrity. I suppose really for as much as you say you miss him or whatever, nevertheless you've got your own integrity to maintain, haven't you? Your own not honour, but certainly your own, your own standards to maintain, and that really is, it seems to be quite appropriate, really, doesn't it? But about compromise, though, but certainly, you, of course, I always say, mind you, from the chess club and not really. I always say with compromise comes conflict, in the sense of if you call a stalemate or a draw, you've got to play again, haven't you? In the chess thing. But nevertheless, is this that you are compromising right now with whatever it is, with however you're dealing with this situation, given the fact that you've had to surrender to the change and you've had to resurrect in some way, shape or form or some capacity? I suppose the wise woman of Wonderland is wise for a reason. I'll tell you two things about the wise woman. One, she's a woman. Two, she's wise. That didn't go down well. It went down like a lead balloon, that did, didn't it? Lord of the Lead Balloon, I think the next card's going to be. Laughing and joking apart, though, I suppose really the compromise comes, maybe the compromise that you have to do with yourself. You have to compromise with yourself, come to some middle way with yourself on this one. Knowing the situation that you're in. I want to see what the immediate future holds here, and I just want to just pull this third card out. Let's just flip it nice and slow, as we say, nice and steady, not to disturb any energies or anything, and let's just see what that card's all about. Let's see what that is. For the immediate future, which is about, as I say, about a moon phase ahead, isn't it? About 3 or 4 weeks or so into the future, you've got Sisters of Seasons. Now try and say that one after a Guinness. We've got the Wise Woman of Wise Woman of Wonderland, and now Sisters of Seasons. Sisters of Seasons we've got now, and the Sisters of Seasons, I suppose, really. I suppose that's more about, of course, everything has its season, doesn't it? everything has a time and place. It's about cycles and cycles of growth and just according to this natural law and divine order, according to this. Natural law and divine order. Well, I'm sort of locking onto that sort of part of it. I don't know. But everything has its season, doesn't it? Everything has its cycle. I suppose if you could sort of link it to like to the Wheel of Fortune, couldn't you? In the sense of that's about cycles and about fate. But then again, do you believe in fate or do you believe in destiny? Well, everything has its season. Everything has a season, a time for this, a time for that, and a time for the other. A time for love, a time for hate, time for crying, time for laughter, and all that sort of thing. And I suppose, really, in a way, with the wise woman of Wonderland, I'm sorry, but I can't say that. I'm really trying to say wise woman of Wonderland and the sisters of seasons. You really get some cards, you do, don't you? Anyway, the main thing is the Phoenix in your recent past, of course, is indicating that resurrection, literally, I suppose, from whatever you've been through, and all. Really, this is all part of it, isn't it? It's all part of that resurrection, in the sense of learning your integrity. Yes, the one who walked out hasn't got the integrity. For as much as you love that person unconditionally, nevertheless you have to acknowledge that. And compromise, well, that person wasn't prepared to compromise, that's why he went and that's why he walked out. Again, with the Sisters of Season, he wasn't prepared to sort of, when there was the downs, he wasn't prepared to acknowledge that there are ups now and again, and all you got to do is just wait for them, or whatever. He was like one thing and that was it. Whereas now, of course, for you, the Sisters of Seasons, they will help, that their spirits will help you find the right time and the right place in order to deal with the situation that you're dealing with in a pragmatic manner, really. For this one, I want to grab a bag just behind here. And in the bag, there are some runes in this little blue bag here. And I'm going to pull some runes out and then put one on each card. Let's see what the Phoenix, the energy of the Phoenix is, with the resurrection, and with the, as I say, with you having to, I suppose, just come to terms with what's happened and get on with it. What energy, the unknowable. We don't normally read the unknowable, but if we did, we could assume that it was in the hands of the gods just recently, in the past 3 or 4 weeks or so. Maybe that's why you want to ask, or you've asked the question. You've posed the question for sort of divine intervention, or whatever you want to call it there. You want to delve and use occult means to try and find out the answer to that. And of course, it was in the hands of the gods. I suppose it was a healing process, really. When things are in the hands of the gods, maybe I got a funny sort of feeling here, seriously there, as though it's like a healing process has started over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so. Probably that's why you're trying to seek guidance, so you can see how can I continue with this healing process, regardless of the fact that we miss the person or whatever. I mean, you can't live with them for so long and not miss them or whatever. That's ridiculous, isn't it? You can't even have a cat or a dog for about 15 years without missing them. So people, I suppose, surely people, you'll miss them as well. With, of course, the wise woman of Wonderland about the compromise, having to compromise right now, nevertheless, of course, focusing on the integrity. I mean, I suppose she's got wisdom because of, well, she's got integrity because she's seen it, been there, done it, got the t-shirt. She probably represents you in a way. She vibrates with you. Probably she empathises with you in some way. But she's there, energising you in that regard. What rune have we got for that? I wonder. Let's just stick around and just think about Bec Maddocks as we just pull out a rune and we just see the love rune there. Link to birth, isn't it, that one? Like is there, that's the love rune. That's pure love, of course. I mean, you were on about unconditional love, regardless of that. There's still the unconditional love there. With that being birth as well, that could be the birth of a new situation, something new beginning. It's been in the hands of the gods to try and heal you and resurrect you from this. If you understand the meaning, and sort of the gods there are of course helping you to surrender to changes, helping you to surrender to the change that's taken place, because this is what it is. This is how it's going to be. Yes, we've been there, done it, got the t-shirt, I suppose you could say, and if you see that link there. But nevertheless, okay, there is the unconditional love. It's the rune. That rune has just sort of acknowledged that. Maybe that's the integrity in you, in the sense that you're prepared to unconditionally love, but he isn't. But you have to remember, of course, it takes two to tango, doesn't it? And is that the compromise? That yes, you're prepared to compromise, but is he? I think we know the answer to that one. Of course, with the Sisters of Seasons, I wish you wouldn't have these cards, I can't say them. Laughing and joking apart, though, with the Sisters of Seasons and really and divine order and cycles of, I suppose, cycles of fate as well, isn't it, or whatever. I would, well, although, like I say, you can't really say fate, can you? To some degree. I suppose this refers to it as natural law, doesn't it, there, as you see there? It refers to it as natural law or cycles, just cycles in general, isn't it? But I noticed, like if you notice, like the white, like the lights, like the white lights on there, as if, although there's a light in the background fueling whatever's growing as well. So like a celestial sort of energy, isn't it? If you can see that there, like a celestial sort of thing. So that's like, I suppose that's what the cycles, I mean that's the cycles of growth, but you could say cycles of fate or destiny even, to that degree. But it's really just pointing to really the immediate, for the foreseeable future, the next 3 or 4 weeks or so, you're having to literally rely on natural law, as it says there, on natural law, and so on, and of course we could pull a rune out for that, couldn't we? To see what that's about there. Let's just stick around in here. Just think of we just think of Bec Maddocks there. There's that one. I don't know. I've got 2 in my hand. Oh, got 1 there now. We went 3, 2, and then 1. Ah, radio. The letter R apparently comes from is given to us by the Norse. I don't know if you can see that there. Am I holding it right? Yes, I am. And that radio is the wheel, or I often refer to it as the Thor's chariot. You know, it means physical movement. The horse, the Awaz, is the spiritual movement. The spiritual movement is putting things into action and things like this. Where this is physical movement. Now that would go with I suppose cycles of growth and natural law, divine order, etc., wouldn't it? Because in a way maybe you're going to physically travel in the next 3 or 4 weeks or so. You're going to be physically travelling. I've got a funny feeling as though you have got plans on, either you know where he is or whatever, and you've got plans on going to try and chase him up on this. I don't know. Yes, be careful about that. As sort of unconditional love will drive you to travelling. It's been in the hands of the gods. A resurrection or a healing process has been in the hands of the gods there. But right now, of course, with that ability, you know, that sort of energy, that compromise, yes, wisdom as well, naturally, the wise woman of Wonderland. I don't know what the Wonderland bit is, but certainly if this is a wonderland of understanding and of conception, as well as I suppose intuition to some degree, isn't it? But nevertheless integrity, in the sense that pardon me, in the sense that she's got something about her. Well, at least I wasn't the one who walked out, tra-la-la-la-la. Even if you travel, I've got a funny feeling that you have got intention on physically travelling here. Physically travelling to sort of ask him, why did you do it? Maybe, of course, you've no doubt contacted him and spoke to him about it. But I've got a funny feeling as though you are planning this for the next month, and it will happen. I don't know about that, given the fact that if there's been a resurrection and you've surrendered to change the energy of the phoenix, and in the hands of the gods, the energy of the phoenix has helped you rise from the ashes of what's happened. Yes, there is it has left you with the unconditional love, even birth of a new situation, even maybe. It's left you wiser though, hasn't it? Left you with the integrity. It's left you maybe with the ability to compromise, because I suppose the compromise bit comes with forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. So we're prepared to sort of compromise because we understand why they did it. Maybe you understand, although you can't condone his actions, you somehow understand why he did it. I don't know. And in that sense, you're prepared to travel to try and I don't know, impose more understanding, try and understand yourself, try get something back together or what, I don't know. But certainly if it's a healing process, I honestly don't know. Is the resurrection from the dark period that you've had with him, and all of a sudden you think after 13 years or 7 years of marriage there, it's all of a sudden going to come back? I don't know. This is down to you at the end of the day. You have the power to change it, but it does, the gods do seem to, Odin seems to point toward travel. And with the sisters of seasons, as I sort of say, sorry about that, but with the sisters of seasons, they're indicating, like I say, indicating that natural law, that cycles of growth and the divine order, that things come in, one thing comes after another, life after death, death after life, of course, death after life, and then of course there's life after death in the sense somebody else has to go at living after we die. You know, we can't all live here at once. We all have to take turns, don't we? Why I've suddenly said that, I don't know. I get a funny feeling of saying life after death. What happens if you discover on your travels that something has happened in that sense? I'd rather not go that far. I'd rather say no more at this stage. I just hope you find what you find. I hope it's positive, and either way you will grow, no doubt you will grow, and the cycle, that certain season or cycle will help you grow, and that natural law will no doubt bring some sort of divine order, in the sense of it's meant to be. If it's meant to be that you're meant to be together again, if it's meant to be that you travel and don't find him, or if you travel and find out something's happened, I don't know. It's meant to be you are the phoenix who's recently risen from the ashes of this. Nobody's asking you to get over it. I suppose it's a bit like grief to some degree. Nobody's asking you to get over it. Well, just, I suppose, asking you to learn to cope, and that's all you want to do. You don't want to get over it, you just want to cope. And with that, these runes have spoken. We say, blessed be to Odin and all the Norse gods. And also we say, blessed be to the wisdom of the hidden realms, as you would say. For now, Bec, these cards have spoken.